Years back, I used to house sit, and it was a pretty good gig. I would get coworkers who knew people who needed me to house sit, and it was, it was easy money for the most part, but, there are some things to consider, and I'd say vetting people is definitely number one. Checking out the house is definitely another. If there's no parking, if you have to switch their parking spots continuously, because there's street sweeping. If there are multiple animals, like things like that, I think you should consider, especially if you're still working and it may not work with your schedule. So anyway, I did this, but there was one that I did not vet that well. I had gone over initially, just to check things out, and say hello and introduce myself. And the house felt a little off, but I really honestly didn't really think much of it. I will say that the cat that was indoor scratched the hell out of my face, and the owner, he said, "Oh, the animal doesn't typically do that. I'm not sure what's up." And I'm like, And that honestly to me should have been an omen, but I was like, whatever. I don't mind doing this. Basically I had to take care of the strays that were outside that he fed, and then the two that were indoor outdoor, make sure their bowls were full on the inside. So I was like, okay, cool. And then he was like, yeah, you can just stay in the room and it should be fine. I was like, okay, cool, sounds good. I get over there the next night, and when I got to the bedroom, something felt extremely off. I had this weird feeling. It was almost like the bad spirits were around. I can't really explain the feeling. It made me sad. It made me irritable. I started crying. I called my mom, and I was like, I don't know if I can stay here. And she was like, don't. If you have this bad feeling, then you got to get out of there. And so I decided I would just, come in the morning, feed the animals, and then at night I would go back and feed the animals, but I wouldn't stay. And then there was this room that you could see from the outside that had blinds, so you couldn't see in. And then on the inside of the house, doorknob on that door had a rosary on it. And just even getting close to that door, I felt this weird feeling. I could not stay. And anyway, I ended up not charging the guy. And a week later, he calls me and he's like, hey, did anything happen? Because, one of the cats died. And I was like, I'm not sure. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry about that. And I had to leave it at that. And I didn't contact him again, and nor did he.